Alright everybody, so today we're going to continue our conversation about rock cycles, rocks, and minerals. There is a camera in the back, so please try to ignore it, pretend it's not there. It is not for you, it is for me. Alright, so before we start, I just want everyone to remember what our expectations are in every one of these classes, which are up there on the board. In case you have any questions, you can go ahead and refer back to everything up there that you all wrote. So hopefully you will remember to keep to it, especially to keep your cell phones turned off. I'm sick of the buzzing and the ringing. Okay. Alright, so today we're continuing with the rock cycle, right up there. But what I want to do first is get some information about what you all remember about previously when we talked about minerals. So just raise your hand, and whatever you want to throw out, I will go ahead and write on the board. Yes. Okay? So, minerals are kind of like rocks, which is good, which is kind of a head start. It's closer to what we're going to be talking about today. What else? Okay? Things that are found in nature. Very good. So it's not something that we're going to go in our house and look under a couch and probably find a mineral. It's something we're going to find in nature. Anything else? An organic substance. That's interesting. Okay. Alright. So you guys remembered a few things. That's great. We're going to build off of that for now. Which is the rock cycle. So we're going to remind ourselves about the three kinds of rocks. Yes? Anyone remember what those are? The three major kinds of rocks that we talked about? Close, metamorphic. Metamorphic, number one. Anyone else? Starts with an S. Sedimentary, very good. And the last one, igneous. So our goal today is to discuss how all three of these kind of rocks are related to each other and how they kind of go from one to another. They actually kind of can switch and change and become each other. It's very interesting. Okay. So as I'm erasing the board, what I want you to start thinking about is where you see rocks every day. Where do you see them? Where do you see them? Okay, outside. Good. We see them outside. I'm using a different pen because this wasn't working very well. So we see rocks outside. Anywhere outside? Do we see them anywhere in particular where we see them? Okay, so outside, particularly maybe on the ground. Anyone else been close to rocks? What do they look like? Are they little? Are they big? Are they soft? Are they hard? How can you describe them? Okay, so there are little ones that are like pebbles. But they can be big, right? Has anyone ever seen any rock climbing or ever been rock climbing? They're huge, right? So there are rocks that are like mountains that are absolutely ginormous. So they can be large. We got large, we got big. So are they all the same colors? Every rock brown? We think of a rock, we think maybe brown? No, they're not. They can all be different colors. Good. So what I'm trying to get you all to think about is that they're very different. Rocks can change. There's little, they're big, they're different colors, they're made different ways, they're used for different things. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to have you all take a quick minute and discuss with the person next to you. Maybe when you've used rocks, where have you seen them, any cool experience you ever had with rocks. That way we can, we're going to go back and talk about it together in a minute. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to talk with your neighbor while I set up your quick write prompt. Also, in about another minute and a half, if you are done talking, since it seems pretty quiet, feel free to take out your quick write journals. And I want you to respond to this one. You can just find any blank page. It doesn't have to be right after the last one, just any blank pages, okay? Put today's date and make sure that you know about the topic, rock cycles. Don't need your names on the journal. How and when have you used rocks? Anything, any personal experience you have with rocks. Maybe you collect them. Maybe you like to throw them into water and see them skid. Anything you want to discuss or, kind of concentrate your minds on in terms of how you use rocks in your own life. So go ahead and take a few minutes for that. Does everyone have this topic written in their journal? Because I am going to erase it so I can use the board for something else. Okay, I'll give you a few more seconds. Okay, go ahead. Get that down. Okay, good? Okay. While you guys are still writing, I'm going to set up our brainstorm for today. So just keep on writing. Okay. Alright. So we're going to do some brainstorming together about rocks and the rock cycle. Everyone does have this in front of you, a blank one of these. Feel free to take notes. We're also going to create one together, which I will print out and get a copy to you too as well. So take your own notes, and then you'll get a class one at the end of the time, maybe halfway through the lesson or so when you have an internet break, so you can see what everyone did together. Okay? Alright, so that should be out in front of you, but I also want everyone to be thinking about this together. The rock cycle. So, you wrote a little bit, we know a little bit. What can anyone add to this? You talk and I'll write. Okay? So there are 3 times of rocks. Anyone want to name them again? Sedimentary, metamorphic, igneous. Good. What else does anyone know about the rock cycle? Alright, so it changes the rocks. Anyone know how it changes them? Okay, so weather, maybe one. Erosion, heat. Those are good ideas. Anything else? Anything anybody wants to know that we can put in the brainstorm? Okay, how do they change? What do they look like when they change? Good. Those are great ideas. Anything else we want to add to this brainstorm here? No? Okay, so I'm going to print it, save it and print it. And we'll save it. That way when we are done more of this activity, we can come back and add more to the brain. We can add more to our brainstorm here. Fantastic. Okay. Very, very, very good. All right. So here's what our lesson is going to look like today. So we did some brainstorming, we did some quick writes, we got our mind going about what we might be talking about. The next part is the part that you all love, I know, it's our activity. We're doing something really fun today. It's kind of going to remind you when you're a little kid, because we're going to be manipulating Play-Doh, modeling clay, in order to pretend it's rocks, and we're going to be creating the rock cycle in our own classrooms. It's kind of exciting. Okay? So we will begin with that.